to hire some people, but it's a lot of volunteers. And like I said, that same kind of focus that it's a mission. And as a result, we've been working on this for a few months, and we're getting ready to go live. I told you about this, but for the record, we had a situation last year where a group of us, I wasn't the organizer, but two city councilmen were, where we came into the city council chambers of the city of Providence and took it over and created a homeless shelter because we were so disgusted by the fact that there are people literally in 0-degree weather sleeping on benches outside. We just couldn't take it anymore. And the problem is, in a state like Rhode Island, you say, why is that a big deal? Well, and this is, as libertarians, we need to respond to this. The government makes it very difficult for us to just be entrepreneurs in it, right? To just wildcard it. So they control the resources and the legal issues surrounding doing the work, and then don't do the work. And that's one of the reasons why libertarians have to get involved, because if we want to end this destructive welfare state and return it back to the private sector, we have to do it ourselves. We can no longer wait for the government to do it for us, because they actively block us. They have all sorts of, I had a mayor tell me, literally to my face, that the conditions surrounding it had it to be safe, implying it and effectively saying that it was safer for people to be outside than potentially risk some extreme chance of a fire or something and be inside where it's warm. I don't know what to say to that kind of twisted government logic anymore. We don't get emotional about it. We don't fight it. We just go in there, well, probably in a manner of not like the LDS, but we go in like this.
Okay, it's 7:30, so right. I'm going to start the recording.
This meeting is being recorded.
Good evening, everybody. It is Sunday, October 12th at 7:32 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is Stephen Akela, Chairman of Libertarian National Committee, and I'll be calling this executive committee to order. Mr. Secretary, whenever you're ready with roll, please.
Give me 1 second. Thank you. Chair Akela.
Present.
Vice Chair Dar.
Present.
Treasurer Redpath.
Yes.
I am here. Mr. Ford.
Yes.
Mr. Watkins.
Yep.
All present and accounted for, Mr. Chair.
All right, and I apologize, I'm not on camera, I'm driving. So we will move on with the agenda. We only have one item, which is essentially the discussion for the litigation committee. The chair is now seeking a motion to approve the agenda.
Point of order, or I don't know if it's a point of order. I did notice an item. I don't know if it was caught, but I noticed it yesterday.
I'm not certain if because this XCOM meeting was called, is this technically a special meeting, or can we notice items for an XCOM meeting in advance?
Items can be noticed, and the LNC directed the motion.
Mr. Chatterton, Mr. Chatterton.
Do your jobs.
You will be removed. You are not a member of the XCOM.
I don't believe it's, I'm just trying to think, because we called the meeting to order last week. There was not a notice period, so I don't believe it's a noticed motion, but we could talk about it a little bit later, or even during discussion, because I did see it.
Okay, it might end up being a point of order if we don't.
Okay.
Because I think it has to happen in order for us to do the item that's currently on the agenda.
Gotcha. All right. Well, is there a motion to adopt the agenda as presented?
Mr. Chair, I just say we just go ahead and add Mr. Watkins' motion and say that it was properly noticed, added in there as part of the agenda.
Okay.
I give notice for a motion to initiate litigation as directed by the LNC. It'd be the second item. So
I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. There's no objection.
I
We
would, I
still
would,
need-
sorry, I
Okay.
would ask that we address that first because again, I believe it does need to occur before we are able to entertain the item that's currently on the agenda or the other item.
Okay. So do you want to move the, I mean, since we're in a small committee, we still need a motion to
Didn't the
move in
XCOM already
second?
adopt one motion for moving a litigation previously? That was
I don't know that we initiated anything. That's the thing is I don't believe that anything was initiated yet. And this is why it would be a point of order if we were to move on without doing so, because I don't think we can create, according to the policy manual, we can't create a committee to oversee litigation that has not been initiated yet.
If I was at my desk, I'd double check. I believe the XCOM can, and I know we're kind of speaking out of turn, but I believe the XCOM can essentially appoint a committee to act on its behalf, which would be, it wouldn't serve it wouldn't report to the XCOM, it would report to the LNC. So I think however we want to operate that is up to us.
Yeah, it just in the policy manual, it's section 1.6 legal matters, and then I guess subsection 2 is what you would call that, authorization and management of lawsuits. Once a lawsuit is filed or joined, including lawsuits filed against the party or the LNC, the executive committee shall manage the details of the lawsuit, and so on. Since we don't have litigation yet, I don't think we can appoint a litigation committee for that just yet.
All right, well, let's discuss it and make a determination from there. Is there a motion to adopt the agenda?
Yeah, so moved.
All right, and there's a second? Any second? Well,
second,
second. All right, so I know we have Mr. Watkins' motion. Let's just, we'll say that's number 2 for now, but is there a motion to make that number 1?
can we hold on for 1 second, Mr. Chair?
Excuse me.
I think we can go ahead and move on to debate and discussion on it, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to look and see something.
Okay.
Well, I'd like to make a motion to make Mr. Watkins a motion, the primary discussion.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
I guess I'll second it.
All right, there's a motion and a second. Pat, would you like to speak to your motion?
Yeah, I just agree with Mr. Watkins' assessment of the situation. And quite frankly, even if someone were to disagree with it, I think it's the safest course of action. I think it's also important that this ensures that it'll be heard this evening. So that's the reasoning behind my support of it.
While
Yeah,
Is there anyone else?
I guess so. Yeah, I just want to make sure we're doing things correctly. Like that's pretty much it. I think this is what we have to do first. And I don't know that any litigation was.
in the past, Angela appointed the committees before we actually joining any lawsuits. So that's why I'm trying to figure, because it's
No,
saying
we were already, I'm pretty sure we were
It may-
already a part of those lawsuits because I just recall
Chair
the
can
XCOM.
appoint any ad hoc litigation committee himself, but it says may, it's not shall. So it, like, you can already have the committee and then appoint those the actual running of the lawsuit
All right.
after joining is how I read it, but we
Can I
could give them,
interrupt,
we could, my argument is that we could create that committee to come up with the proposal for us all. I'm sorry.
I think this shouldn't be controversial or an argument, really. I mean, let's just make sure we're doing things right before we move on. Let's just go ahead and discuss initiating the lawsuit because it's already been a topic of discussion for like a month. Can we just get it over with and then move on after doing so, establish the committee? I mean, if the chair can just appoint an ad hoc committee to handle it, then it could have been done anyway and we didn't need to have a meeting. So I would just ask, please, that we have a quick meeting and dispense with both of these.
All right. Is there any further discussion on this? Mr. McMahon?
My concern is just by stating initiate the litigation, that has financial ramifications, it has everything. The intent of the chair and the intent of my amendment during our previous meeting was so that it can be investigated. It was to instruct the chair to put something together so that people could, either the chair or the litigation committee or somebody, which is what I said in our meeting, could then put forward a proposal, find an attorney, get all the things, make sure the cease and desist was received, move forward with the ballot access, try to get that attorney back in. All of that was there as part of like, let's form a litigation committee to do that, not a, hey, let's just say we're doing it. We're doing the lawsuit. Like
Can I
that's
please be
dumb to me.
recognized since I wrote that text that you moved?
You
I
are
would
not a
defer-
member of the XCOM, sir.
Mr. McMahon, I would defer to Mr. Chatterton since it is his region and we don't need to raise our voices, either of you, please. Can we just,
I'm upset because
discuss it.
the statement that was made by that member at the beginning of this meeting, when it first started, about us
Can you
doing
read
our
the
job.
motion that the LNC passed, please?
And
Hold on.
you are
Hold
not.
on. Go ahead, Ms. McMahon, finish.
Thank you. Not a member of the XCOM must be recognized by the full board. I am happy to do that if a person will stop acting that way. I would support asking for them to be recognized, but what I don't agree with is somebody who's interrupting and just saying whatever they want. It's not appropriate. It's not okay. It's not good board behavior. This is supposed to be being done in good faith, and statements being made against people and saying we're not doing our jobs is inappropriate, and it really makes me mad. So I would be happy, Mr. Watkins, if you would like to see somebody recognized to speak, if the chair allows it and asks us if we want to have that person recognized, I would support that. I'm not going to support the person just unmuting themselves and speaking. With that, I want us to move forward with this. And I get really upset when people start ascribing motivations and saying things about, you know, we're not doing our job and not wanting to get this done.
I would ask that
So I
Mr.
will-
Chatterton be recognized, please.
Is there any objection from the body? Hearing no objection, Mr. Chatterton, you're recognized.
Thank you. We had discussion last week. Obviously, we did a lot of it in executive session, but I don't think Mr. McMahon provided a fair characterization of that motion language. It was very explicit that it was to direct the chair or his designees to bring a proposal to enter litigation within 1 week. It has been 1 week. And we specifically spent time discussing the matters about the financial implications that were brought up, and that was pretty explicitly directed in that motion to have those things considered and brought back within the week. So that time that has elapsed since the last LNC meeting was the time to do that investigation, was the time to get those financial ducks in a row. And it was unanimously adopted by the LNC for that matter to be brought before the executive committee no later than today. So that it could be voted on. I think that language was very unambiguous on that matter, and it specifically called for a consideration of litigation for trademark, and if desired and if found appropriate for the LNC to be involved in, also ballot access. But I believe those languages are not ambiguous in any way about what they called on the LNC executive committee to do, and therefore it is only appropriate for that vote to happen on one or both of those pieces of litigation tonight, not to form a committee to investigate it and look further. we've already received an answer from the group that's infringing on our trademark in the form of a joint statement issued in the name of the LP after it was public that we were going to send a cease and desist letter. They're not going to negotiate. They are not operating in good faith to consider to give our name back to us. They have answered us. We have to move to litigation at this time, and the chair or his designees were directed to prepare everything order so that could be voted on tonight. And it sounds like that did not happen. So Mr. Watkins has prepared a motion that should be heard and it should be voted on, and I believe
A little
should
bit
be
off the rails.
adopted.
Okay. All right. So back on the topic of discussion of the agenda, is there any further discussion?
I've got my hand
I'm
raised.
sorry. I apologize. We're on the Pat amendment. Pat, and then Mr. Watkins, Mr. Ford, go ahead.
Yeah, briefly, I've got a line of questioning to pursue with regard to the content of this set motion by Mr. Watkins. And I will just say this, I am seeing constant different versions of what's happening. I'm not going to call anybody what anybody said misinformation. I'm just going to say I see vastly different interpretations of what the impact of a lawsuit is. I see a group that calls themselves the Libertarian Party of New Mexico, which is actively part of another political organization that we are ostensibly
Mr.
running
Ford,
against. Time is up. I'm going to close out. Time is of the essence. We can't keep pushing this off. We need to clear up the misinformation tonight and make a decision.
or not,
That's
we can debate in further detail when we get to the motions.
Okay.
Mr. Watkins put his hand down. Okay. All right. So right now we're on the motion to move item 2, which is the Watkins motion, up to item number 1 or above item number 1 on the agenda. Make it first. There doesn't seem to be any more debate. I'll ask all in favor to please raise their hand. Okay, I see Mr. Watkins, Mr. McMahon, Mr. Ford. All right, that's 3. All opposed. Put your hands down. All right, all opposed, please raise your hand. I see no hands for opposed, so the motion passes. All right, we're now on the agenda as amended. Is there any further discussion?
On the item, or are we on the main motion to adopt?
On the main motion to adopt
Okay.
the agenda.
Gotcha.
Going once, going twice, going 3 times. Is there no more, if there's no more debate, is there any objection to adopting the agenda as amended? Hearing none, agenda is adopted. So Mr. Watkins, will go to you and your motion, and you are recognized.
Sweet, thank you. And let me know if we need to get into executive session or not. It borderlines it, but yeah, I just want to
Internet's shutting off.
yeah, I get that we want to be careful, but if we're going to go ahead and establish a committee, I think first we need to just go ahead and discuss at least, but I think we need to go ahead and do it anyway, is to sign on to a lawsuit or initiate a lawsuit or whatever the correct verbiage is, because we've already sent multiple cease and desists and we've gotten our answer. The answer is no, and our trademark is being infringed by a group that is not affiliated with us, and they entered into a joint statement with an opposing party. I already hear, oh, what about, previous events and previous LNC members and blah, blah, blah. Fine. I understand that. Let's be consistent, because this is not an affiliate. It's using our branding in something that we did not authorize. So let's please just go ahead, and I don't know if we need to go into executive session to talk further or what, but that's pretty much it. And I would like to defer to Mr. Chatterton as well, again, since it's his region. And I don't know if there are any other region reps from Region 1 on the call, but that's pretty much it for me right now.
I'm going to go Mr. Ford and then Mr. McMahon. Mr. Ford.
Yeah, I've actually got, and I hope you'll indulge me in this. I have a brief line of questioning. My biggest concern tonight, as I mentioned earlier, is that there is a tremendous amount of different versions of the current story. And I think on something like this, where we're considering engaging in additional litigation, we have to clear up the facts and stipulate as to the facts. So if you'll indulge me, I'd like the floor for 3 or 4 minutes just to ask these questions. I'm directing them to the chair, not out of anything personal, except it's appropriate to direct them to the chair. So first of all, just mostly they're yes or no's. Did the Libertarian Party of New Mexico voluntarily disaffiliate from the National Libertarian Party?
You're talking about the Lucchini party.
Yes.
I don't remember if it was voluntary. I know I think we accepted it at one point. I don't remember. It was a long time ago. But one way or another, they are no longer the official recognized affiliate in New Mexico.
I think this is important because there are people out there who assert, and again, I'm not casting aspersions on their right to assert, but they will assert that the New Mexico party, as it originally was constituted under Mr. Lucchini, was thrown out. And I think it's important that we stipulate the base facts here so that there can be no confusion going forward. My memory is that they voluntarily disaffiliate, but that's my memory. So I'm asking specifically on the record what happened there in as brief a terms as possible.
I remember there was a split off. Pat, you and I were both on the boards at the time.
Mhm.
I don't remember the exact details because it was a long time ago, and I don't want to misremember and say something that's not true. But I know there was a schism. I forget the status change. I don't want to say offhand if I don't have all the facts in front of me. But all I can say for sure is they're not the recognized affiliate, and of course, if they're not the recognized affiliate, they shouldn't be using our trademarks.
Right. And all right, so I will stipulate from my memory that their disaffiliation was voluntary. And if people have other facts that challenge me on that, I would love to hear from either tonight or after the meeting or sometime in the near future. My next question, does the use of the libertarian porcupine, albeit with different colors, impact the protection of our trademark? Because they are using our porcupine on their website.
I'm not an attorney, so I can't say for certain. Obviously, any trademarks that we hold, we have to be aware of how they're being used and when they're being used in ways that we don't like or that work against us. Those are opportunities to consider what we need to do about it. So I really couldn't tell you for sure.
All right. Next question. Is the LPNM, the Lucchini party, we'll call them for the purpose of tonight, using the same domain as when they were affiliated of the Libertarian Party? My understanding is that they are. Anyone have any comments on that?
Could you repeat that, please?
Is the Libertarian Party in New Mexico, i.e. the Lucchini-led party, using the same domain as when they were an affiliate of the Libertarian Party?
Oh, gotcha. I believe they are. Yeah, I think so.
Okay. All right. On the Libertarian Party New Mexico website, they make a very blunt statement as not being involved with the Libertarian Party or the actions of the Libertarian Party. Does that have, and I guess what I'm trying to do is build a case here, because it's not as simple as they left us, we quit, nanny, you're suing us. Because that's somehow times what it's reduced to out in the world, the wild world of social media. And people go, oh yeah, and then they pick up on that, they're suing individual members. That's part of my question. But my understanding is they are. And again, they made that statement. Is the Libertarian, and this is critical, is the Libertarian Party considering a lawsuit against the corporation that is the Libertarian Party of New Mexico, or do they intend to sue any individual members directly or name them as part of the lawsuit?
Is that a question for me?
Yeah, well, I mean, proper meeting protocol as I address it to you, Mr. Chair. And again, it's no reflection on you personally. I'm just trying to keep this going. So is the Libertarian Party at all considering a lawsuit against any individual members of, I'll call it the Mr. Lucchini-led Libertarian Party of New Mexico, or are we actually suing what constitutes a corporation of the Libertarian Party of New Mexico?
Well, what I would say is, my recommendation is we don't know the answers to any of these questions until we, in my opinion, form a litigation committee or some kind of committee
Okay.
to work with attorneys to find out how we want to accomplish what we want to accomplish, to
Mhm.
lay out our goals very clearly, to make a recommendation to the Libertarian National Committee full board, and then to execute on those actions once we have approval. But right now, we know that our trademark's being used in ways we don't want it to be used. We know that as a fact. I think everybody can agree on that. At least that's here. And, we want to prevent that. We want to protect our trademark. So how we go about doing that as a part of this discussion, I think we need to sit down with an attorney and,
Okay.
figure out all
No,
the
I
details.
no, I understand your point. I'm
Right.
almost done here. And I'm building a case here. Did the Libertarian Party of New Mexico participate in the nomination of the Liberal Party presidential nominee? My understanding is they did. And my understanding is that in doing so, by the way, by endorsing another party, did they not in fact also violate the bylaws if in fact they still consider themselves members? And then my final question is, does the LPNM, Libertarian Party of New Mexico, act in cooperation with any other political party? And I will point out on the Liberal Party website, they are considered an affiliate. The reason why I'm bringing all this up, and I'll wrap this up here, is that you've got multiple cases where the Libertarian Party of New Mexico has actively sought to and continues to distance themselves from the Libertarian Party. They belong to another active national organization. And at the same time, they're using images, logos, names, ballot access of the Libertarian affiliate. As a result, as long as in my mind, we're not actively suing any individuals, we are suing a political organization, a corporation, I would assume, then we need to proceed as quickly as all possible with all speed in defending our identity, or we will hopelessly muddle our ability to control our identity in the eyes of the public, which is critical because there are clearly states that have politicized the ballot access rules to the point where it's a question of who they desire to imply is the owner of this ballot access and all the accommodations that come from it, as opposed to the actual owner. So I stipulate all of that because I don't want anybody to take away from this meeting that we're acting arbitrarily and capriciously against a group of people because we're pissed off at them. Nothing could be further from the case. So with that, I'll rest my questions and, I'll rise in support of it as long as we're not picking out individuals to sue, unless those people, of course, engaged in fraudulent activity directly. And then that's a whole other consideration. To your point, Mr. Chair, these are conversations that have to take place probably in confidence in an executive session with an attorney or whoever is representing us, but it's important that we stipulate those points publicly. Thank you.
All right, next up, I'll go with Mr. Watkins. Actually, Mr. Watkins, you did speak, so I'm gonna go to Mr. Dar, then I'll come back
It was
to you. Is that
Mr.
okay?
McMahon.
Oh, and Mr. McMahon. I'm sorry. Let's do Dar, McMahon, Watkins. Mr. Dar.
Well, Mr. McMahon had his hand up first
Oh,
before.
I apologize. I'm
Thank you.
not my normal setup. Mr. McMahon, go ahead.
I just wanted to say I think we're all in favor of passing this, and both motions and getting this going and moving forward. So I don't think we need a whole lot of commentary and debate and discussion. Like, let's just move forward, please. This should be pretty simple and easy to do. That's it. Let's go.
Mr. Dar.
I was going to say that reflecting on it, the emotion at hand is very open-ended. So there's many paths that can be taken, but I think the litigation committee can help define that for us there on the exact path forward. So if the intent is just that we're going to go forward with litigation and get the details ironed out later, that'll be fine, because before we do any of the actual budgeting or filing a lawsuit, all of that has to be spelled out in greater detail according to the policy manual under 1.6, where you were citing it earlier. I was just reading that over. So yeah, it's fine to move forward with this motion and then to have the litigation committee refine the plans for going forward with that. It would be the path forward, and how to make that happen. And like that to coincide with one another to make sure that we're operating with all our ducks in a row and properly executing everything here.
All right, Mr. Watkins.
Yeah, I do have a more specific motion if it would be allowable, because I think that could help alleviate some of your concerns, Mr. Dar. So if I may, I can make that now, because it is germane to the agenda item. And
I wasn't raising that as a concern. It was
Okay.
initially a concern, and then me thinking it through, saying it's not actually a concern after I thought it through. Is
Okay.
what I was. I'm sorry, Mr. Watkins, if I was unclear earlier.
That's fine. And I can still make a more specific motion. I think we should. So if I may, and there's no objection and the chair agrees, then I can go ahead and do that.
Now would be an appropriate time because we're just in discussion right now. There's not been a motion or second yet.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and do it. So move, and I'll speak slowly, Mr. McMahon. Move to authorize the initiation of litigation for trademark infringement in New Mexico against the organization currently infringing upon our trademarks, comma. Let me know when you're ready, Mr. McMahon.
Do you have it in writing? Does it seem
Yes.
like it's in writing.
Yeah, I'll just send it.
Just email it to me.
I got you.
I will say this.
I was thinking the same thing.
I will say this. I don't agree with the amendment. I like it just the way you initially have it. Just me commenting here. The move to initiate litigation directed by the LNC covers everything that was already said in the previous motion.
Okay. Okay. Well, I would like to ask how Mr. Chatterton feels about that, because it seems like there is concern about not having a specific motion, and I don't know that the previously adopted motion was executed as it was worded. It doesn't seem like it was, but I'll just go ahead and send this.
Yep, go ahead and email it.
Okay. Give me a second.
If we can have a second, Mr. Chair.
Mm-hmm. Let me know once you receive it.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure it's good. Oops. Send. Motion. Email. Here we go. Okay, it's sent.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'm going to put it in here and I'll put it up on the screen. It hasn't been moved or seconded yet, but just so everybody can see it. Is that okay, Mr. Chair, for me to share the ballot screen with that language?
Yeah.
See me? Okay.
That's fine. Let me, let's see.
Would you like me to read it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Move to authorize the initiation of litigation for trademark infringement in New Mexico against the organization currently infringing upon our trademark, which was subject to multiple previous cease and desist letters. $20,000 shall be allocated for this work from the source as deemed appropriate by the FSC, the treasurer, or the chair in accordance with the requirements of the policy manual. That was the full text.
All right, that's the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Going once. All right,
I'll
there's a second. Is there any discussion? Mr. Watkins, go ahead, and then Mr. McMahon.
Oh no, sorry, didn't mean to.
Oh, I see. Mr. McMahon, go ahead.
I'll be voting no on this for two reasons. One, it only is the trademark. And two, because it's allocating money. And I don't believe that this is the proper process for doing that. We discussed this. We had what I believed was a good arrangement. We're going to move forward. We're going to take this seriously. We're going to do it. But through a litigation committee. who will seek an attorney, seek a recommendation, seek funding, seek a budget, do all of the things. This is officially tying the hands of the party. And I don't agree with it.
Mr. Watkins, your hand is still up. I'm not sure if
That's
being
new.
correct.
That's new.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go
So
ahead.
the previous motion that was passed last meeting, and granted, I wasn't there, but I see the text of it. Direct the chair or his designees to prepare a proposal for initiation of trademark litigation and potentially additional litigation relating to ballot access at the discretion of the chair in New Mexico to be presented to the XCOM in a meeting to be held within 1 week. I have not seen any proposal. So that didn't happen as directed. So I think this is probably, I don't know why, but again, I wasn't at that meeting, but I have not seen any proposal. It was directed that there would be one for this meeting, and we do not have one. So I think we should at least adopt this motion or some form of it that binds us to seeking the litigation more aggressively, because like we've already missed one deadline. How many are we going to set another deadline? Like I don't know. Like how long is this going to take for us to get to it? I don't think it's very I don't know. I just don't think it's good practice either. Like I hear what you're saying, Mr. McMahon, but this isn't good either.
So if I could speak, last week, my understanding from the discussion that we had was that we would be proposing, or I'd be proposing something. My proposition is the creation of the litigation committee. That is what I did on Monday. Right now, we haven't had consultation with attorneys on this. We don't know how much it's going to cost. We don't know how long it's going to take. We don't know future potential costs. From a business perspective, without knowing full well how much this is going to cost, the level of success, um, what we could run into, working with New Mexico directly, etc. I think that just putting out a blanket number and saying that's our budget for litigation, go get them, it still falls short of actually going to an attorney and finding out what the costs are going to be and really getting a full picture. I have no issue with going into litigation on this issue. I just want to know all the facts. And so with 7 days to go and find out from at least one or two attorneys is just not enough time. Most attorneys won't even get in with you for at least a week or two. So, these things take time. They're not done overnight. It's my full intention to see it done, whatever it takes. But I think that's why we need a litigation committee, regardless of whether or not this motion passes, to be able to find details and be in charge of going out, seeking that attorney, letting us know, hey, this is how much it's probably going to could cost more. What are the chances of it costing more? And the XCOM or the LNC taking ownership of that and saying, yes, we're comfortable. We're going to move forward with these risks in mind and with these goals in mind. So that was my objective. That's my proposal that I'm bringing forward tonight. That's not mutually exclusive of this motion, but that was my intentions nonetheless. All right.
If I
So
may, sorry, if I may, one
go
more
ahead.
thing. The motion was to direct the chair or his designees. And I understand a week is pretty constraining. I agree with that. However, I think there should have been more communication, more in line with that, maybe asking for a couple more weeks or 2 weeks or whatever. But the motion says the chair or his designees. So I don't think it's really that necessary to just form the committee. Like you could have just designated some people anyway, regardless, as Mr. Dar said, as an ad hoc committee previously to see that this was done. But again, I agree that a week is not enough time, but I think more communication would be preferred. And if that was too constraining, like I may have missed an email saying that it was, but I didn't see one. So I still think we should at least, as the XCOM, recommend initiating litigation before we come up with a committee to oversee any litigation that does not currently exist.
Well, I'm not going to go. I don't want to go back and forth. Let's go to Mr. Ford and Mr. Ford. Go ahead.
All right, so two quick points. Number one, I don't know that we even have a choice, given the unique circumstances that are involved here. We've got an ongoing assault on our rights to everything that we've discussed. There is no choice. As suggested, and I'm not proposing specific language, a suggestion, perhaps we use the words limited to an initial budget of $20,000 with additional funding to be approved when necessary. That would allow then the formation of the committee, that would allow then an attorney to go forward, but we would at least give the initial approval. Because at this point, if we simply wait until we have all the facts, we could be easily, given the requirements for open meetings and all that, we could easily be 4 to 6 weeks out. And we don't have that time. We need to respond right away on this. This is cut and dried for all the reasons. The reason why I went through those stipulations was to point out and to remind people of the facts surrounding this, not the hype, not the partisan politics, not the how you would like the world would like to be. This is as straightforward a decision as I've had to make in my entire time on the Libertarian National Committee. We are under, if you will, a trademark assault. And I know by saying that, all sorts of folks will then react to that as opposed to the statements I made earlier and the stipulations we came to. Let's make a decision that we're going forward or not. I mean, that's, up to the board. We can set an initial budget. And as it approaches that, hopefully very quickly, we'll have a real appraisal. And if we haven't spent the $20,000, that doesn't mean we have to if we decide not to pursue it. It's just time. How many times have I said that this term? It's time to pull the tooth. And we can do that right now, right here, without hog tying or tying down any committee, any financial committee, any of that. Let's get it moving now. Thank you.
If that's an amendment, I would support that.
Yeah, I'll be happy to propose the amendment. I'm trying to do this in a collaborative form tonight, as opposed to what's happened in prior meetings.
Yeah.
So,
Mr. Ford, are you making a motion to amend? And what is that
yes,
motion to amend, or are you going to?
I will make a motion to amend. If we can insert the language that we will set a budget of $20,000 with additional funds to be approved by the executive committee and the board at a future date. I'm sorry.
That's essentially what it says now, Mr. Ford.
But do we say, well, then if that's what it says now, if we're limiting it to $20,000, then I'm not sure where the problem is. I was wondering if you were concerned because the implication was we're launching this full attack and there is no limit. There is no sunshine law. There is no, ceiling on this. My main concern is to get it moving. And if we're waiting for initial budgets and projections, I think Mr. Hall provided, as he often does, as he almost always does, actually, as he always does, provided with us a great deal of idea as a courtesy on the structure of this. And my reading of it was, he was clear that $20,000 may not be enough. That was very clear. And it may not be enough, but it will at least get us started. So if that's the language you understand it, then I fully embrace it. If you're looking for more cautionary language, I'm willing to include that. I want to make this work, but I want to get moving. Time's away.
Well, Pat, if you're open to an amendment, I mean, personally, I want to know that I want to see a litigation committee or somebody go and talk to an attorney, sit down and say, look, this is what we hope to accomplish. How much money do we need? So if we want to do a pre-approval of 20,000, it should be, we need to make sure that whatever we do, we sit down with an attorney first before we sign the dotted line and say, look, if an attorney says this is going to cost at least 25 or 30, or it could cost 30, but it could go to 50. I think we want to have at least an idea of that. How much is this going to cost us before I feel comfortable moving forward? So if there's language that satisfies that.
I agree with that completely. If you remember, Mr. Keller, we ran into a situation early on with the COC where there was an assertion made about the sky's falling in on us, which because you and I worked together, brought in, and Mr. Hall had a rereading of the contract, we realized that not only was the sky's not falling in, we were actually in pretty good shape. So I agree with you 100%. I don't want to have to come back for the initial approval to get started. All right. That's where I'm coming in with that's why the clause limiting to $20,000. Listen, if we spend $3,000 and somebody comes to us and tells us it's going to cost $100,000, then we hold it at $3,000 and we have that heart to heart talk. So I think we all have the same concerns. It's just a question of how we express it and how quickly we can start. I'll defer to Mr. Watkins Mr. Watkins is much better at the written word than I am when it comes to these proposals. I'll defer to him in language that he feels is consistent with all of that.
I don't know if it's true that I am, but I appreciate it. But yeah, I mean, I'm fine as it is, or if again, like Mr. Ford said, if y'all want more cautionary language in it, but I think we still have to commit to initiating a lawsuit. We have no other choice. We have to protect our trademark. We have in the past. We've already asked for a cease and we've already sent for a cease and desist.
I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry. Do we? I'm just a little confused here. Does the language that Mr. Ford originally moved is that language being proposed?
Mr. Chair, and I had my hand up to speak, but the
Yes.
language that was moved by Mr. Watkins and seconded by Mr. Ford didn't actually make an amendment because it was pointed
Okay.
out what the actual motion said.
Gotcha.
Still have my hand up.
Okay, I just want to make so I want to move if there's, and I apologize, Mr. Watkins, if you wanted to make them because I wanted to go in order of the hands. Mr. McMahon and Mr. Dar did want to speak, so I'll go with Mr. McMahon then Mr. Dar. Mr. McMahon.
I supported the original and said I would vote for that. Just the initiation of litigation in New Mexico. That opens it for both the litigation of the trademark, that opens it up for the ballot access case. It doesn't put any of these other things on there, and it gets the process rolling and says let's initiate, let's get this going. I feel like this language does a lot of things, and we don't know what an attorney is going to recommend. Also, if, like Mr. Ford pointed out, our attorney said at least 20,000 is what he said, maybe more. One of the things is when you enter litigation, you're strapped to it. If it ends up being $75,000, it's $75,000. I know that may be uncomfortable for some people to hear, but it is the truth of the matter. And so, we want to hear from an attorney, but whatever. I move on. Whatever. I yield.
Mr. Dar.
I just wanted to say I like the original language better than the amendment because it allowed more things that could be more opportunities that might be decided under the decision work here. So I'm in favor of the original language.
Mr. Ford.
Yeah, I will certainly defer to the original language. I think what I was trying to do was make everybody happy, and sometimes that works better than others. So, Mr. Watkins, if you're still good with the original language of your, if the chair doesn't mind, can I ask Mr. Watkins a question? Are you still happy with the original language of your proposal?
I mean, I'm happy with my original language. Yeah. I understand the concerns about, and I think what everybody else is referring to is the motion that I noticed before proposing this current language. Does that make sense?
Yep.
I think that's what
correct,
everybody's
Mr. Watkins. That's what me and Mr. Dar are talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would rather be a little more specific because again, we don't have a choice. I think we have to enter this. We've already sent cease and desist. I don't know what else an attorney is gonna say if we've already gone through motions like that. I don't know what else would be on the table. There's not gonna be any civil resolution to this, or civil meaning in good faith, not like court language or whatever. But yeah, I think we should just at least allocate the funds because it's going to cost at least that. I don't think anybody's, um, you know, I think we're aware that lawsuits end up costing more than we originally think. So we might as well just bite the bullet now because I don't think we're going to save any money anyway. And it sucks. But I mean, we'll spend money on other things that don't really get us anything in return, but we're hesitant to do this. I think this protects us more than many other things, or at least it attempts to. So I would ask that we just dispense with this and roll with it and then move on, please.
I'll call the question.
Can I be recognized before that goes forward?
There's a motion to call the question. Is there a second?
Of course, we wouldn't want to hear from people who have
No,
knowledge
you're
on the
not
matter.
recognized,
Second,
Mr. Chad. Please stop.
I will second the call of the question.
Thank you very much. All right, is there any objection to calling the question? Hearing none, we'll go ahead and move to a vote. Mr. Secretary, whenever you're ready.
This body's duty to defend our trademark.
Mr. Chatterton, come to order or I'll have you removed. Do not interrupt again.
Mr. Ford has his hand up. Did you want to say something, Mr. Ford?
No, that's
Just wanted to make sure that there was an issue. Mr. Nikela,
I'll pass.
Mr. Dar,
And to clarify, this is the main motion, not an amendment to the main motion?
this is the main motion because it was the motion was amended during the discussion. And then this was the motion that was moved and seconded.
Do we want to put the text on the screen so there's no confusion?
I just clarifying when
okay.
voting on this because they've now worded it into a way. Now I'm going to have to vote no.
well, no, we changed. We never adopted the second.
This
We never adopted.
No, Mr. Ford.
Yourself. When Mr. Watkins was giving his discussion on this, this was the motion that he moved, and then you seconded. You were going to amend it to add additional language and then stopped. The original motion that was noticed initially just said initiate litigation in New Mexico.
Yes. Nobody amended to revert back to that.
Correct.
Just so we're aware, though.
I don't know who's trying to be let into the meeting. Sorry.
Do we mind if we put that text up on the screen one more time just so everybody's on the same page?
It should be on the screen.
Is it? I apologize. I was on the wrong. Never mind. I'm on my phone.
Mr. Dar?
Okay.
I already said no.
Okay. Mr. Redpath?
I'll pass.
I'm going to pass for a minute. Mr. Ford?
Yes.
Mr. Watkins?
Yes.
Mr. Chair?
I'll abstain.
Mr. Redpath?
I will vote no.
I'm thinking. I'm going to vote yes.
All right, it is 3 to 2 to 1. Motion passes.
Thank you, Mr. McMahon. I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
The only saving grace was because it says authorize the initiation of litigation.
Gotcha. I appreciate it still.
But I, for the record, I'm not happy about this. I was hoping we could work in good faith. I really wanted this to work. The other one, the one that you noticed, was in favor for. But I feel like this makes a statement about the rest of the board and things that have been said tonight by not members of the XCOM about the intent. Very bothersome. These things resolved. Should we, be defending our trademark? Are they be using it? I'm called about the intent. It's very upsetting to me.
All right.
I've
Well,
never
that
served
wasn't
on a
my
board.
intention, and
All
I'm
right,
sorry
all
you're
right.
didn't
Hey,
say-
offended. But
I didn't say you, Mr. Watkins.
You could have moved to amend it.
Let's
Mr.
stay on
Watkins,
task. Let's
hold
stay
on,
on task. Let's stay on
Mr.
task.
Watkins. I even said not members of the committee.
Hold on. Let's stay on. Let's go to the orders of the day. We're going to go to the motion to create the litigation committee. Well, I was going to be seeking to be recognized anyway, and at this time, I did want to create a litigation committee for the purposes of for the XCOM to create a litigation committee for the purposes of overseeing the New Mexico trademark litigation as well as ballot access and any litigation therein. And I'd like to form that committee with Mr. McMahon, Mr. Robert Vinson, and Mr. Jonathan McGee. Is there a second?
A question, Mr. Chair. Are these people willing to serve on this committee?
Yes, we spoke. I believe they're on the call. I'm not sure. I believe all three are on the call. But yes, they have. I don't know if anything's changed in the last 10 minutes. If there has.
Based on
Okay.
that, I will second the motion.
Okay. All right. And my reasoning for this. I'm sorry?
Mr. Chair, just to clarify the name, it was myself, because I want to make sure that I'm getting it right.
Yes. Mr.
McMahon,
Mr. McMahon,
Vincent.
Mr. McGee, and Mr. Vincent.
Okay.
And the purposes of the litigation committee, or part of that purpose, would be to go out, seek an attorney, and essentially look into this case. Whatever we need to do, they would take any recommendations for, I guess, additional expenditures to the XCOM, and whatever we need to do to get the ball rolling. So that's that. I'll go to Mr. Ford, then Mr. Watkins. Mr. Ford.
Yeah, for the record, I will always maintain that anything that requires high level work that we can, well, told Mr. McGee, I am firmly in favor of. You can still consider me a standing yes for that. Thank you.
Mr. Watkins?
Yeah, I would just like to move to amend for the committee to include the Region 1 reps, since it is their region.
I'll second that.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion on that?
Question, who would those individuals be?
It would be all of the region reps for Region 1.
Mr. Lamb, Mr. Wiley, Mr. Chatterton, and my God,
Mr. Martin.
Mr. Martin. Mr. McMahon, you have your hand raised?
Yeah, I wanted to say two things, but I'll speak to the amendment first. the hope is that the litigation committee would be able to bring back the pro bono for the ballot access case, would stop it. They would not be interested in that with that amendment. Feel very passionate about both of these things, both the trademark, especially like when you see the statement on the website, ramifications for the ballot access. It continues to ballot access issue. I think it helps with the ballot access litigation as well. But I'm very passionate about both of these items being taken up. So that's it.
Okay.
Is Mr. McMahon breaking up for anyone else?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
breaking up for me too.
I didn't
I
know
wasn't
if that
sure
was
if it was
me.
me.
No, Evan, it's hard. You're breaking up pretty
Can
badly.
you turn off your
Sorry.
video, maybe, Evan?
Okay.
I have third world Starlink internet, so I assumed it was me.
No, it's me too.
Yes, my internet connection is unstable because there's a guy playing video game at our office eating on whatever game that is he's playing.
All right. Is there any further
What
discussion?
I'm saying is I feel very strong and passionate about both the trade and ballot access. I guess, okay. Not hearing me at all.
Not
You're
at
coming
all.
in choppy.
Hello?
You're coming in really choppy.
I'm not hearing
I-
really anything.
You're coming
You
in.
want to write something brief and post it to share?
I heard the words you said. It just came in like a.
I just said I'm passionate about this trademark.
Excuse me.
I think he said he's passionate about both the trademark and the ballot access. Okay, so while Mr. McMahon fixes his internet, I'll ask, is there any other members of the XCOM who'd like to speak on this?
Yeah, I understand that,
Go
you
ahead.
know, there's some animosity between some of you guys and the Region 1 reps. I understand that. However, I think that since this is involving New Mexico, a state within their region, they still have, I would say, a strong obligation to be a part of anything concerning those affiliates. At least, like, if nothing else, being made regularly aware of any discussions and potential recommendations that are not yet shared with the rest of the LNC and the XCOM. So I don't know how the committee is intended to be structured, if there's going to be voting within that, but they should at least be able to at least know what's going on, if not to vote. Does that make sense? That's
It
all
makes
I'm intending.
sense.
Yeah, that's
It
all
makes
I'm
sense.
intending.
I
And if we want this to be collaborative, I mean, this is a serious thing, and it seems like everybody's kind of on the same page about what we want to do here. Maybe not in exact. Maybe we don't agree exactly on the manner of going about it, but I still think it is important for at least one, but I think all of the Region 1 reps should be involved and be kept in the know.
I'm gonna.
Trust does not exist on this board, whether we want to kind of dance around it or not. It doesn't exist. So I would really insist that they're clued in.
I'm gonna speak real briefly, just because I feel like I need to say something. I'm okay. I would not object to Mr. Wiley and Mr. Lamb being on this. Mr. Martin and Mr. Chatterton essentially lost New Mexico's pro bono ballot access support. That was about $10,000 to $20,000 worth of value. And for them to lose that, for the LNC to turn around and say, well, we lost it, give us $20,000 to go in so we can pay for it, it doesn't sit right with me. From a business perspective, it actually, I don't want to reward that type of behavior, to piss off our attorneys so much that they're willing to stop doing something they've done for decades, or at least for us for a decade, for free, and then have to turn around and pay for it. Doesn't sit right with me. At least on the issue of the ballot access. As far as the litigation, we might have gotten that for free too. We don't know, or it might have been a paid thing, But it was mostly going to be free, and we lost that. So now we're spending tens of thousands of dollars, and we're saying, well, we're going to put those people back in, coach. It doesn't sit right with me.
Well,
Anyway.
I stand by it, and I would defer to Mr. Chatterton since he was mentioned, and I think he should still, even, considering all of that, everything that you've just said, he's still on this board, and there has been no disciplinary action taken against him. He still has an obligation to at least have a part in this, I think. So I would defer to him if he has anything to say. Hopefully tame, I would ask. But if there's no objection.
Without objection. Is there
Chair,
any? Hold on one second. Any objection to hearing from Mr. Chatterton? Go ahead, Mr. Chatterton.
Thank you. I would definitely think it would be appropriate to be included in the litigation committee. I think that having been through litigation relating to trademark myself with Michigan, makes me an invaluable voice of experience. And I believe that I should be a part of this, especially given the points that have been mentioned as New Mexico being in my region. I think that the statements just made by the chair were highly inappropriate and inaccurate, but I'll leave it at that. And I think that we should allow for the chair of New Mexico to finally speak in this meeting as we discuss about the fate. But one last point in closing. Mr. Hall was never going to take on our trademark litigation. We have an existing relationship with a trademark attorney, contrary to numerous of the points that were mentioned earlier. And I take issue that several of the things that were covered last week in the executive session were rehashed as though they were first coming up today for the first time. So I think, especially in light of those matters, I would like to be part of this so I can make sure that New Mexico is represented effectively from the people that are guiding this litigation. And I don't think anyone has a better position to do that than I do, given my experience in Michigan with trademark and likely the involvement of some of the same individuals, given the similarities of the infringements going on. And I hope you guys will recognize Mr. Scott.
So typically for outside entities to be, a board member just has to raise their hand and then say, I just want to recognize Mr. Scott. So I know he's had his hand up for a long time, so I'm just going to go ahead and assume that somebody's want to hear from him. So without objection, Mr. Scott, go ahead.
So I'm just wondering, would I be able to be in that committee since it affects our party? I'm sorry, I'm very ill today, so I'm just wondering. Sorry if I'm a little slow and quiet. Just wondering, first, would we be able to be in that committee? And two, I already have a lawyer lined up for a lot of this that is willing to work with the LNC, Gary Fielding in Colorado. He's willing to meet with you guys if need be. We are paying him a certain amount to get the ball rolling. Unfortunately, the payments got messed up, so they're getting him in next week, and he's going to get started. So I would just like to at least propose to answer some of the questions. There is some lawyers that we could probably get on board pretty quickly, and that is already up to speed with the case pretty much. So if the board would be willing, he would be willing to talk with you guys and maybe work something out. He's worked out a really nice deal for us, so I wouldn't doubt he would help out the LNC. He's a libertarian himself. So with that, I'll yield. I'm sorry to be it's crazy, like, because I figured I could answer a lot of the questions that was asked by Ford and others. I definitely could point out a lot of things that are going on. And I definitely could answer that probably later if you guys want, because I know you guys want to get this meeting done. So thank you for giving me a chance to speak. You guys.
Thank you, Mr. Scott, and hope you feel better. I would assume that 100%, if whatever litigation committee or litigation comes out of this, um, we would be working very closely with you every step of the way. I personally feel that it's very important for New Mexico to be bought in and comfortable with whatever actions we take, and that might be using the attorney that you've already sought out. So I just wanted to let that be said, that this is for you guys. This is for New Mexico. All right. Let's see. I see three hands. Let's do, I believe, Mr. Redpath, Mr. Ford, then Mr. McMahon, Mr. Redpath.
Yes, I I am concerned about this committee getting too large. I think three people on there is fine. I'd be willing. I really don't see this as being a Region 1 issue. It is a Libertarian Party issue. That said, I could see perhaps one person from Region 1, but to have a majority of this committee under the proposal, talking about expanding this committee from 3 to 7, and a majority of them would be Region 1 reps. And I object to that plan. I'm going to vote against it. I don't think it's wise.
And I forgot to answer Mr. Scott's earlier question. He could be on the litigation committee. I don't think there's anything in the policy manual that would prevent that.
Thank you. Yeah, I would appreciate if that's possible.
Let's see who's next. Mr. Ford, and then looks like Mr. McMahon's hand is down. I'm not sure if he wanted to be recognized. Then Mr. Dar, then Mr. Watkins, Mr. Ford.
Yeah, I'd like to present, a friendly motion that we include the gentleman from New Mexico as a formal member of the committee, subject to the normal NDAs and all that happy stuff. But I think it's important that he be intimately involved on a day-to-day basis. He's certainly shown a lot of good faith in the work he's been doing and engaging with National as the representative of the Free Mexico Party.
Is that a substitute motion, Mr. Ford?
Well, let's try and structure
Or do you want
that
to wait?
together.
Well,
No,
if I may, because I have an amendment to my amendment. So to make this simple, I'm going to propose that one rep from Region 1 be appointed to the committee in addition to Mr. Scott.
I agree with that.
And I would name Mr. Chatterton again because he seems to be the most heavily involved in this.
All right, there's a motion. Is Mr. Ford, was that a second?
That's a second, yep.
All right, there's an amendment to the amendment. We're now on discussion. Mr. Redpath, you have your hand raised?
I do. I'd call the question, actually.
Okay, you're going to call the question on the amendment to the amendment. Is
Correct.
there a second?
I'll second that.
Yeah.
Let me ask, is there any objection to calling the amendment to the amendment? Or I don't hear an objection. So the amendment to the amendment, so we'd have to vote to amend the amendment, and then we'd actually vote on the amendment. So,
Well,
so
there's no objection on the amendment to the amendment, right?
well, there's no objection to calling the question on that. So everybody,
I'm sorry.
Everybody in favor of the Watkins amendment to his amendment, to
You should
to
probably
make,
read.
yeah, it would be to make the amended motion to appoint Mr. Scott and Mr. Chatterton to the litigation committee, which would also include the other three names we mentioned earlier. So I'd ask everybody to put their hands down. And then all in favor, please raise your hand. All right, I see three. Everybody put your hands down. All opposed, please raise your hand. All right, I see one hand opposed, two hands opposed. 3-2, the ayes have it. Amendment passes. So now we're on the motion as amended, which is what we just did. We're back on discussion.
Could you read, point of privilege, could you read the amendment as we're
So-
voting on?
So right now, the amendment, we're voting on an amendment to the main motion. The amendment is to add Mr. Chatterton and Mr. Scott to the litigation committee, which would comprise of Mr. McGee, Mr. McMahon, and Mr. Vincent. So the amendment would be to add in Mr. Scott and Mr. Chatterton. Mr. Dar, go ahead.
I was going to be in favor of adding Mr. Scott, but I was not in favor of adding Mr. Chatterton. In this case, that Mr. Scott could still consult with Mr. Chatterton and have his input that way. But I was just in favor of having Mr. Scott be the additional person there.
All right, Mr. Watkins.
I call the question.
All right, there's a motion. Is there any objection to calling the question?
Yes, I'll object to calling the question.
All right, is there a second to calling the question?
I'll second it.
All right, all in favor of calling the question, please raise your hand. All right, I see 2 hands raised. Please put your hands down. All opposed to calling the question, please raise your hand. I see 2 hands raised. All right, so it's 2-2, so motion fails. We're back on discussion.
Well,
Go ahead, Mr. Redpath.
yeah, I think it's what we want this. What if ballot access is going to be a part of this? You know, I mean, this question could be divided, but again, I mean, I do think that if Mr. Chatterton is a part of this committee and it involves ballot access, then any possibility to have this done pro bono, any sort of ballot access work, and it's needed. I mean, it's needed in New Mexico. We need to litigate this the ballot access question in New Mexico. It's extremely important, and getting this done on a pro bono basis would be very important to the party, and it's going to create a problem getting this done on the ballot access portion of this done on a pro bono basis if Mr. Chatterton is on this committee.
Mr. Dar, you recognized.
Yes, I'd like to move to amend the amendment to keep Mr. Scott on there, but to remove Mr. Chatterton. And the explanation being what Mr. Redpath was just saying there.
And I'll second that.
I'll object.
All right, there's a motion and a second. We're on to discussion. Mr. Dar, is your hand still raised to speak to that? Oh, never mind.
No,
Mr. Ford, your hand's raised. Go ahead.
Yeah, I feel there should be one regional rep from District 1, I'm sorry, Region 1. I know as someone who represents a region, I would be, if either myself or young Mr. Weir weren't involved, I'd be very frustrated. And I think it'd be counterproductive. I think someone from Region 1 needs to be on this.
Mr. Watkins, you recognized?
Yeah, I agree. And I would probably further amend to add language, if this is just going to be a back and forth. I'm just going to add language that requires the committee to regularly communicate with the Region 1 reps.
I think we're 3 levels deep right now, so it wouldn't be in order at this time, but it would be after this is disposed.
I would be happy with that after this is disposed.
Okay.
Is there someone besides Mr. Chatterton that would be agreeable to the rest of the board to be on the committee? I'll just put that out there.
Let's go ahead and dispense with this because I'm going to stand firm that all of Region 1 needs to be in the know. So if we want to just get through this and then allow another amendment to require that of the committee, then we can just move on.
All right. Mr. Ford, are you still seeking to be recognized?
Yeah, I guess I agree with Mr. Watkins in principle, of course, but there's being on the committee and being communicated with and not casting aspersions on anyone. I think it's important that one of the representatives from Region 1 be on there. There is, the knowledge of the region, the knowledge of the state. And if it can't be Mr. Chatterton, then Mr. Lamb, and I'm not, I don't know, we haven't spoken to these people yet, so we don't know what their degree of involvement, but someone from the region needs to be on the committee. And as a committee, someone who's listened to a lot of people cast aspersions on the region system, I happen to disagree. It's important.
Mr. Dar.
That there will be a person that's in the region on the committee, and that is Mr. Scott himself, representing his state and his interest there. And I agree that reporting should happen to the region reps, but want all matters to be able to move forward, and that Mr. Scott has shown his ability to act professionally with others, and I believe that he'll be able to communicate across, and the other members of the committee can, and that we'll be able to get everything that everybody wants done this way.
All right, I don't see any other hands raised, so we'll go ahead and go to a vote. All in favor of the amendment to the amendment, which would only include Mr. Scott being added to the litigation committee, please raise your hand. All right, 3, and I'll also vote aye. Everybody, please lower your hands. Oh, I'm sorry, and Pat were you voting yes?
No, I'm voting no.
Okay. All right. All opposed, please raise your hand. All right, the ayes have it. So we're now on to the amendment, and we're on to discussion.
Just so I'm clear, the amendment
Yeah.
is what now?
So the amendment would be to add Mr. Scott to the litigation committee.
Okay, gotcha. Would it be appropriate to then make my the amendment that I previously
Yes.
mentioned? Okay. I so do that.
All right. So Mr. Watkins makes an amendment to the amendment to, if correct me if I'm wrong, would be that the litigation committee regularly consults with Region 1, the Region 1 reps. Do you have the exact language?
Yeah, let me think. My intention is so if anybody has better verbiage, feel free to suggest it. But basically, all email communications and/or summaries of meetings. But they should also be allowed to join the meetings, if desired. Something to that effect. Does that
Mr.
make sense?
McMahon,
Any questions?
I'll let Mr. McMahon go, and I see Mr. Scott has his hands raised. Mr. McMahon?
I just had, like, taking the spirit of litigation committee shall keep Region 1 reps updated. I think having people in the room, especially with counsel, might not be the great idea. It would defeat the entire purpose of what counsel said about the pro bono work. But just what I wrote down was litigation to be added to your for your amendment. If it just says something
You're
different,
breaking up
that's
again.
No,
You're breaking up again. Okay, then let's just simplify it and just
litigation
regular
committee shall keep
communication.
Region 1 updated.
Regular communication to the region reps is what I was hearing you say.
Sure, yeah, that's fine. Let's just go with that.
I'll second that.
All right. There's a motion and a second. Mr. Scott, you had your hand raised. I'll go to you. You're muted.
I was just gonna try to straighten up the verbiage, but it could be just that that the committee and Derek shall keep the Region 1 reps apprised of the situations as they evolve via email or maybe voice comms, something to that extent.
I'm fine with that.
Well, there was a motion that was already moved and seconded.
Litigation committee shall keep Region 1 reps updated.
Yeah, that's what's currently moved and seconded.
Litigation
Obviously,
committee should Region 1
however you
reps updated.
however you
Yeah.
guys decide to go about that is, of course, up to you.
I think that should cover it. So if Mr. Scott, if you feel like speaking with your region rep about it, I would imagine that would still be appropriate.
Right.
Mr. Dart, you have your hand raised?
And I just wanted to speak towards that amendment. That makes it so that there's nothing that you, Mr. Scott, could communicate or the other people on the committee could communicate to the reps that would not be held back. So they'd be able to communicate everything that's happening and going on, that we're completely authorizing that, and that all communication should happen, and that any other communication that happens, I think that's a good amendment all around.
You made a good point though about authorization. Like, should it be? It's just straight up, or it should be what is?
I believe by telling them that regular communication should happen, that's leaving it open that it is authorizing them to have that communication on any time there. So that's how I'm reading it right now. That our amendment is giving a very open-ended communication directive on your part there. That everybody's able to communicate as much as they need to have the information passed along.
Yes, and that's my intention.
Okay, yeah, and I would add. Do you mind?
Go ahead.
As long as it's not within a legal, like if there's some private between lawyer and client.
That is
falls under
anything
normal
that is
NDA.
executive. So that's always.
Mr. McMahon was going through a tunnel, but I believe what he meant to say was it's already covered under the Ronner as executive session.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Thank you.
There you
I
go.
move that Mr. McMahon get better internet.
I'm shocked my Starlink is holding up.
I would
It's
say
actually
that
pretty good.
I would say that Mr. McMahon simply was trying to say, do whatever Pat Ford says.
Objection,
All right.
objection, objection, objection.
All right, so we got an amendment to the amendment. I don't see any more hands raised. I'll ask, is there any objection to the amendment Hearing none, the amendment to the amendment passes. So we're now on to the amendment as amended, which is to appoint Mr. Scott to the litigation committee, and I'm kind of paraphrasing, but to keep Region 1 regularly updated. All right, so we're on discussion, if there is any discussion.
Call the question.
Second.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll go to a vote. All in favor of the amendment, please raise your hand.
This is the amendment.
Correct. Yeah, this is the amendment. 4, 5. All right, ready to put down your hands. All opposed? No opposition, so the amendment passes. So we're now on the main motion. Is there any discussion on the main motion as amended?
No.
All right, I think there's no discussion, so we'll go ahead, Mr. Secretary, whenever you're ready with the ballot.
Please check to make sure this is correct.
All right, the motion is create and populate a litigation committee tasked with overseeing and managing trademark and ballot access litigation regarding New Mexico with the following members: McMahon, McGee, Vinson, and Derek Scott. The litigation committee shall keep Region 1's reps updated. Whenever you're ready, Mr. Secretary.
Mr. McHale.
Aye. Aye.
Mr. Dar.
Yes. Nikayla
Dar.
voted yes, and I voted yes.
And Redpath
Mr.
votes
Redpath.
yes. Yes.
I have you both. Mr. Ford.
Yes.
Mr.
If
Watkins.
I'm called on this, yes.
Mr. Chair, it's 6 yes, 0 no, 0 abstain.
Passes unanimously. All right, the chair will now entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I object. I'm kidding. Good.
Please, let's adjourn.
All right. Any objection? Hearing none, we are adjourned. All right, gentlemen, you're located 20 grand and a pocket full of sunshine. Go get them.
Thank you.
Mr. Ford. Mr. Ford.
Yes, sir.
This is JJ.
The recording has stopped.
You do have an email in your inbox in answer to your question.
Okay.
I was present at the meeting, but I was not involved. And this was the situation, if I may recount it.
Sure.
Okay. As I recall it, the LNC gave, after complaints from the New Mexico committee, from New Mexico members, gave the what is now the Lucchini group a deadline to basically hold their meeting properly under their bylaws. And after that, the Lucchini group voted to disaffiliate.
Yep.
Then
Yep.
the LNC voted to disaffiliate at the end of that deadline. My particular issue is I do not believe that under your national bylaws, a state affiliate can disaffiliate itself. It could disband, but it could not disaffiliate and become an independent party.
That's been our big point.
Who else is talking?
Sorry, Derek.
Okay.
I will be clear. I was not involved in that at that particular time,